of all the places on this piece of coast, this cove is the prettiest little secret spot. And the whole house looks down here at this tiny crescent of the beach with the surf rolling in. It's extremely private. Nobody knows where you are. Nobody knows where they'll find you. My name is Andrew Patterson from Patterson Associates. This is a honeymoon cottage called Seascape. It sits really discreetly in this tiny cove facing into the Southern Ocean. And it's partially buried underground. It's just 2 rooms, bedroom, living room, and a bathroom. The bedroom is angled to look down onto the beach, while the living area looks directly at the comb. The bathroom area looks directly at the comb, but the outdoor fireplace looks directly at the beach. And then there's this undulating glass wall, and it's a 180-degree view of powerful waves coming in just meters away from you. The cove is very remote, and most people access it by helicopter. But you can also access it on a long, winding farm track. And the building doesn't try and command the cove. It just sits discreetly off to one side. And the cove's surrounded by these rock faces, and the intention is that the building just formed another rock face. So say you're out in a boat, which is really the only way to see this place. The building kind of blends in to the rock escarpment surrounding the cove. And it was really the love of this spot that made the building happen. So the building's designed for just 2 people, and it's just a place for them to be safe and warm. It's about the simple rituals of life of a couple: bathing, sleeping, eating, and connecting. It's a really romantic place because the dolphins visit the bay nearly every day, and the breakers roll in, the storms come and go, and sometimes the air turns like crystal in a beautiful blue day and the sun beats down. You can imagine a couple shipwrecked and swimming to shore and coming here and discovering this cave and lighting a fire on the floor and making a nice warm bed and exploring the next day. And this building tries to hark back to that very simple experience. But I think the interesting thing for me is the design is actually the plan of 2 smaller buildings combined. One plan has the glazing facing the comb, and one plan focuses on the beach. So what happens, these 2 combine, and it creates a really rich experience for people. And the wonderful thing about having a southerly view is that it's illuminated in front of you. So you're the audience looking at the view when you're looking directly south. And this view is particularly dramatic because we are out into the seascape. So the building is really a vehicle to allow people to actually connect with nature, with the natural environment, with Mother Earth. So in this one we tried not to be influenced by things that have gone before. we really tried to grow the design directly out of the site. Because if a building looks like it belongs in its location, people can relax and commune with themselves and nature. And believe me, it was a lot of love and connection to get a building on this spot. Everything for the building, all the materials, the rock, the timber, the flooring, was all taken from the site itself. Some of the only things that were imported were metal, like stainless steel, but even the earthquake-proof and storm-proof steel joinery that you can see was made locally in the area. The building itself is tiny, and it's in a high earthquake zone, New Zealand being the land of earthquakes. And there was an earthquake during construction. So the building's got an almost metre-thick, poured in situ concrete roof, like a shield, which protects the building in case of earthquake from falling landslips and screeds. There was no way of getting a concrete truck here in this remote spot. So all of the concrete had to be mixed by hand and poured and shuttered by hand. And then the cladding on that concrete is the local rock from the farm. And it's the same rock as you can see that the actual landscape and cove is made out of. And I like the way it helps the building be part of this cove and grow out of this cove and sort of settle into this cove. So the wood is a reference to the ecology of the peninsula and what's been lost. And here we've just used it sparingly as a liner, and also as a reference to replanting and reforestation program that you can see in its infancy at the moment. The philosophy of our practice in working on sites like this is kind of a deep New Zealand philosophy that we are the children of the Sky Father and an Earth Mother. And we're the product of this conjugal embrace of sky and earth. And that makes us a natural part of the planet. And that comes with it a responsibility to look after Mother Nature and look after Mother Earth. But it also gives you confidence that we're allowed to be here, we're a natural part of the planet, and our buildings are an expression of that. So I think the biggest joy for me about the building is actually staying here. You know, I love to stay here. And it's like a cook saying, you know, they love to eat their own food, I know. And normally, like a cook, sometimes an architect doesn't. But I get a lot of joy when I've stayed here. I'm just so pleased that so many couples have visited this place as a way of celebrating and connecting with each other and connecting with nature.